Ladies, let me tell you something. Smart women don't just wake up one day and have their lives together. They follow a set of rules, and they don't bend them for anybody. They don't let life just happen to them. They make decisions that elevate their self-worth, protect their peace, and set them up for success. You see, life is too short to waste on things and people who don't align with your purpose. The difference between a woman who thrives and a woman who struggles isn't luck. It's the standard she holds. And today I'm about to share 7 unbreakable rules that smart women live by. You follow these? And watch how your life transforms. A smart woman knows her worth, and she refuses to accept anything that doesn't meet her standards. This applies to every aspect of her life: relationships, career, friendships, and even the way she treats herself. She understands that settling for less than she deserves is a direct reflection of how she values herself. When a woman compromises on her standards, she teaches the world that she is willing to accept mediocrity, and that is exactly what she will continue to receive. But a woman who refuses to settle commands a different level of respect because she carries herself with self-assurance and integrity. Knowing your worth means recognizing that you bring value to the table. It means understanding that your time, energy, and presence are valuable and that they should not be wasted on people or situations that don't align with your self-respect and growth. Too often people make the mistake of settling because they fear loneliness, rejection, or failure. But a smart woman knows that being alone is far better than being surrounded by the wrong people. She would rather wait for the right opportunities than rush into situations that don't serve her. This mindset applies especially to relationships. A smart woman will never tolerate being treated with disrespect, inconsistency, or indifference. She knows that love is not about begging for attention or proving her worth to someone who doesn't see it. If she finds herself in a relationship where she feels unappreciated or undervalued, she will not hesitate to walk away. She understands that real love should never require her to lower her standards or compromise her happiness. She does not chase anyone because she knows that the right person will recognize her value without her having to prove it. The same principle applies to her career. She refuses to stay in a job where she is underpaid, overworked, and undervalued. She knows her skills, her talents, and her potential, and she is not afraid to ask for what she deserves. If she is not given the opportunities she has worked for, she will create them herself. She is not afraid to demand better pay, seek promotions, or even walk away from a position that does not align with her aspirations. A smart woman understands that success does not come from waiting for someone to acknowledge her worth. It comes from knowing her own worth and acting on it. Friendships also play a significant role in this mindset. A smart woman does not keep company with people who drain her energy, take her for granted, or bring negativity into her life. She understands that the people she surrounds herself with have a direct impact on her confidence, growth, and happiness. She does not settle for friendships that are one-sided, toxic, or full of drama. Instead, she seeks relationships that uplift, support, and challenge her to become better. She values quality over quantity. And she knows that true friends are those who respect her boundaries, celebrate her wins, and stand by her in difficult times. An excellent example of this is a woman who finds herself in a relationship with someone who constantly makes her feel like she is not enough. Maybe she is always the one making the effort, always the one giving more, while her partner remains distant and indifferent. She notices the red flags, but she convinces herself to stay because she hopes things will change. But deep down, she knows she deserves better. One day, she makes the difficult but empowering decision to walk away. She chooses herself over someone who refuses to see her worth. And the moment she does, she feels a new sense of freedom, self-respect, and confidence. Soon after, she attracts people who truly appreciate and value her simply because she set the standard for how she should be treated. A smart woman never settles because she understands that her value is not determined by external validation. It comes from within. She does not beg for opportunities, friendships, or love. She knows that when she holds herself to a higher standard, the right people and opportunities will naturally gravitate toward her. And in doing so, she creates a life that is not just good enough, but truly extraordinary. A smart woman understands that her time and energy are among her most valuable assets, and she does not waste them on things that do not contribute to her growth, happiness, or success. She knows that every moment spent on meaningless drama, toxic relationships, or unproductive habits is a moment she can never get back. That is why she is intentional about where she invests her focus. She guards her mental and emotional well-being by setting clear boundaries and choosing wisely how she spends her time. One of the biggest lessons a smart woman has learned is that not everyone and everything deserves her attention. She does not engage in unnecessary arguments, gossip, or negativity because she knows these things drain her energy and do not serve her in any way. She understands that the more she engages in these distractions, the less time she has to focus on her own goals and personal growth. Instead of wasting hours scrolling through social media, comparing herself to others, or getting caught up in conflicts that do not matter, she chooses to put her energy into things that elevate her life. She also applies this mindset to the people she allows into her circle. A smart woman does not entertain toxic relationships, whether in friendships, family, or romantic partnerships. She recognizes the signs of people who only take from her without giving anything in return, those who bring negativity into her life, or those who do not respect her time and boundaries. She is not afraid to walk away from people who drain her because she knows that protecting her peace is more important than pleasing others. This also applies to how she approaches her career and personal ambitions. She does not waste time on jobs that do not fulfill her or on opportunities that do not align with her long-term vision. She understands that success comes from being focused and disciplined, so she is intentional about what she works on and where she directs her energy. She knows that every wasted hour is an hour she could have spent improving her skills, building her business, or working toward her dreams. She values productivity over busyness and does not mistake activity for progress. A smart woman also avoids the trap of seeking validation from others. She does not waste energy worrying about what people think of her or trying to prove her worth to those who do not appreciate her. She understands that confidence comes from within, not from external approval. She does not allow negative comments or criticism to shake her self-belief because she knows who she is and what she brings to the table. Instead of dwelling on setbacks or failures, she learns from them and moves forward with even greater determination. An excellent example of this is a woman who used to spend hours worrying about why certain people did not treat her with the same respect and kindness she showed them. She would overanalyze conversations, replay situations in her mind, and exhaust herself trying to gain their approval. One day, she realized that she was giving too much of her energy to people who did not deserve it. She made the decision to stop chasing validation and to focus instead on herself, her happiness, her goals, and the people who truly valued her. The moment she shifted her focus, she felt a weight lifted off her shoulders. She became more productive, more confident, and more at peace. A smart woman knows that life is too short to waste on things that do not add value. She chooses her battles wisely, protects her energy fiercely, and invests her time in things that truly matter. She does not let distractions, negativity, or toxic people steal her joy or slow her progress. Because of this, she is able to create a life filled with purpose, fulfillment, and success. A smart woman understands that self-respect is non-negotiable. She sets her standards high and refuses to lower them for anyone. No matter the circumstance, she knows that how she allows others to treat her is a reflection of how she values herself. And she does not tolerate disrespect, manipulation, or inconsistency. She believes in her worth and expects to be treated accordingly, whether in relationships, friendships, or professional settings. She does not settle for half-hearted effort, empty promises, or being treated as an afterthought. She knows that if she accepts less than she deserves, she teaches people that it is okay to give her less. That is why she stands firm in her expectations. If someone cannot meet the standards she has set for how she should be treated, she is not afraid to walk away. She understands that self-respect is not just about demanding respect from others, but about holding herself to a standard of how she allows herself to be treated. A smart woman also knows that having high standards does not mean being arrogant or unapproachable. It means knowing her value and refusing to entertain anything that does not align with the respect she deserves. She does not waste time chasing after people who do not appreciate her, nor does she beg for love, attention, or validation. She believes that the right people, those who truly value her, will naturally rise to meet her expectations. This applies to every aspect of her life. In relationships, she does not tolerate mistreatment, dishonesty, or inconsistency. She knows that love should never come at the cost of her dignity. She does not make excuses for people who continuously disappoint her, and she does not cling to relationships that drain her emotionally. If someone cannot show up for her the way she deserves, she is willing to walk away no matter how much she cares for them. She would rather be alone than in a relationship where she has to beg for basic respect. In friendships, she surrounds herself with people who uplift her, support her, and respect her boundaries. She does not entertain one-sided friendships where she is always giving and never receiving. She believes that true friendship should be built on mutual respect and effort. If a friend constantly disregards her feelings, betrays her trust, or brings negativity into her life, she does not hesitate to distance herself. In her professional life, she carries herself with confidence and demands to be treated with respect. She does not allow herself to be undervalued, underpaid, or overlooked. She speaks up when necessary, stands up for herself, and does not shy away from advocating for what she deserves. She knows that her skills, experience, and work ethic have value, and she refuses to accept anything less than fair treatment. A great example of this is a woman who worked hard to build her career, but constantly found herself being overlooked for promotions. She noticed that while her male colleagues were confidently negotiating their salaries and advocating for themselves, she was afraid to speak up. One day, she decided enough was enough. She prepared herself, walked into her boss's office, and laid out all the reasons why she deserved a raise and a higher position. She did not apologize for wanting more or fear rejection. Her boss respected her confidence and agreed to give her the promotion she had earned. That moment changed everything. She realized that when she demanded respect, people had no choice but to take her seriously. A smart woman does not beg for respect, she commands it through her actions, confidence, and the way she carries herself. She understands that when she respects herself, others will follow. She sets the tone for how she is treated and does not waver in her standards. Because of this, she attracts the right people, opportunities, and experiences that align with her worth. A smart woman understands that emotions are powerful, but she never lets them control her decisions. She knows that reacting impulsively can lead to regrets, misunderstandings, and lost opportunities. Instead, she takes a step back, processes her feelings, and responds with clarity and wisdom. She recognizes that emotions like anger, frustration, sadness, or excitement can cloud judgment. So she trains herself to stay composed even in challenging situations. She does not allow temporary emotions to dictate permanent actions. If she is upset, she does not send that angry text or make a rash decision that she might regret later. Instead, she gives herself time to cool down, reflect, and approach the situation logically. She understands that emotions are natural, but reacting without thinking can create unnecessary conflict or damage important relationships. This level of emotional intelligence helps her navigate difficult conversations with confidence and grace. Whether in her personal life or professional setting, she does not let negativity consume her. If someone tries to provoke her, she does not lash out or lose control. She remains calm, listens, and responds in a way that keeps her dignity intact. She knows that real strength is not in reacting loudly, but in maintaining control over her own emotions. She also applies this mindset when making major life decisions. She does not make choices based solely on excitement or fear. Instead, she takes time to weigh the pros and cons, considers the bigger picture, and ensures her decisions align with her long-term goals. She does not allow pressure or temporary emotions to push her into something that does not serve her best interest. This ability to regulate emotions also strengthens her relationship. She does not engage in unnecessary drama or arguments over small issues. If a disagreement arises, she takes a mature approach by communicating effectively rather than letting emotions take over. She understands that some situations require patience and understanding rather than instant reactions. An example of this is a woman who was overlooked for a promotion at work. Initially, she felt frustrated and unappreciated. She wanted to storm into her boss's office and demand an explanation. But instead of reacting impulsively, she took a deep breath and gave herself time to process her emotions. She decided to schedule a meeting with her boss where she calmly asked for feedback on how she could improve and what she could do to be considered for the next opportunity. Her composed and professional approach impressed her boss, and a few months later, when another position opened, she was the first person considered. Had she reacted out of anger, she might have burned bridges and lost an opportunity. But because she controlled her emotions, she turned the situation into a learning experience and gained respect in the process. A smart woman understands that staying in control of her emotions gives her power. She does not allow people or situations to manipulate her reactions. She chooses her responses wisely, knowing that how she handles her emotions shapes her reputation, relationships, and overall success. By mastering emotional control, she ensures that her decisions are based on wisdom, not fleeting feelings, and that in every situation, she remains strong, composed, and in charge of her own destiny. A smart woman understands that setting boundaries is not about pushing people away. It's about protecting her peace, time, and energy. She knows that in order to live a fulfilling life, she must be intentional about who and what she allows into her space. She refuses to be drained by negativity, toxic relationships, or obligations that do not align with her value. Instead, she confidently communicates what she will and will not tolerate, ensuring that she prioritizes her well-being without guilt. She does not say yes just to please others. She recognizes that constantly sacrificing her own needs to accommodate others will only lead to exhaustion and resentment. When a request or demand does not serve her best interests, she has no problem saying no, and she does not feel the need to over-explain herself. She knows that people who truly respect her will honor her decisions, while those who only seek to take advantage will be frustrated by her boundaries. and she is okay with that. She also understands that boundaries are not just about saying no. They are about teaching others how to treat her. She demands respect, not by force, but by demonstrating self-respect. She does not tolerate disrespect, manipulation, or mistreatment from anyone, whether in personal relationships, friendships, or the workplace. She recognizes when a situation is no longer healthy for her, and she walks away without looking back. This strength in boundary setting also applies to her time. She knows that time is her most valuable resource, so she does not allow just anyone to waste it. She does not engage in pointless drama, meaningless conversations, or unproductive activities. Instead, she focuses her energy on things that bring value to her life, personal growth, meaningful relationships, and goals that matter to her. She is not afraid to step back from people who drain her, and she is intentional about surrounding herself with those who uplift, support, and respect her. In her career, she does not let others take advantage of her willingness to work hard. If she is given too much responsibility without proper recognition, she speaks up. If someone tries to disrespect her in a professional setting, she handles it with confidence and firmness. She does not allow fear or self-doubt to keep her from standing up for herself. And she refuses to let anyone treat her as if she is less than she deserves. An excellent example of this is a woman who had a friend who constantly expected her to be available at all times. Whether it was late-night phone calls about minor problems or last-minute demands for favors, this friend never considered her schedule or feelings. At first, she felt guilty about setting boundaries, but over time, she realized that constantly being available was draining her energy and causing unnecessary stress. Instead of avoiding the situation or letting resentment build, she had an honest conversation with her friend. She calmly explained that while she valued their friendship, she could not always drop everything at a moment's notice. She set clear boundaries, letting her friend know when she was available and when she needed time for herself. Surprisingly, instead of ending the friendship, the friend respected her boundaries and even began to set her own. This simple act of enforcing boundaries improved her life significantly. She had more peace, more time for self-care, and healthier relationships. She learned that setting boundaries does not mean losing people. It means creating space for the right people and experiences. A smart woman knows that she is not responsible for how others feel about her boundaries. She understands that if someone gets upset because she enforces limits, it only means they benefited from her lack of them. She does not let guilt or pressure make her lower her standards. By standing firm in her boundaries, she cultivates a life filled with respect, balance, and self-worth. She moves through life knowing that the only people who truly belong in her world are those who respect her space, her time, and her energy. A smart woman understands the power of personal growth. She knows that her journey is never complete and that success, happiness, and fulfillment come from a mindset of continuous learning. She does not settle for what she already knows. Instead, she seeks out new knowledge, skills, and perspectives that help her evolve into the best version of herself. She embraces challenges as opportunities to grow, recognizing that true wisdom comes from experience, reflection, and self-improvement. She is not afraid to step outside her comfort zone. She understands that staying in the same place mentally or emotionally leads to stagnation, whether it is learning a new skill, taking on a new challenge at work, or even exploring a different way of thinking. She welcomes change as a necessary part of progress. She does not let fear hold her back because she knows that growth often comes from discomfort. Instead of seeing failure as a reason to quit, she views it as a lesson that brings her one step closer to success. This mindset extends to every area of her life. In her career, she actively looks for ways to improve. She takes courses, reads books, and surrounds herself with people who inspire her. She does not wait for opportunities to come to her. She creates them. When she faces setbacks, she does not dwell on what went wrong. Instead, she analyzes the situation, learns from it, and moves forward with even more determination. She knows that growth is a lifelong process, and she embraces every chance to become smarter, stronger, and more capable. In her personal life, she applies the same principle. She is open to feedback and self-reflection because she understands that no one is perfect. If she notices patterns that hold her back, whether in relationships, health, or mindset, she takes responsibility for making changes. She does not blame others or make excuses. Instead, she focuses on what she can control: her attitude, her actions, and her choices. One of the most powerful ways she grows is by surrounding herself with people who challenge and uplift her. She understands that the company she keeps has a direct impact on her mindset and success. She chooses to spend time with those who inspire her, encourage her, and push her to be better. She avoids toxic relationships that drain her energy or keep her stuck in old patterns. She values meaningful conversations, new perspectives, and wisdom from those who have walked the path before her. An excellent example of this is a woman who felt stuck in her career. For years, she remained in the same job, feeling unfulfilled, but too afraid to make a change. One day, she made the decision to invest in her growth. She took an online course to learn new skills, attended networking events to connect with professionals in her industry, and sought mentorship from successful individuals. Within a year, she landed a job that aligned with her passion and doubled her salary. By choosing growth over comfort, she transformed her career and her confidence. She also applies this approach to her emotional and spiritual well-being. She practices mindfulness, gratitude, and self-care. She understands that mental and emotional growth are just as important as professional success. She works on her self-esteem, heals from past wounds, and remains open to evolving as a person. She does not let negative experiences define her. Instead, she uses them as stepping stones to become wiser and more resilient. A smart woman knows that life is a continuous journey of self-improvement. She does not compare herself to others, but instead focuses on becoming a better version of herself every day. She embraces learning, welcomes change, and stays committed to growth in every aspect of her life. She moves through the world with confidence, knowing that as long as she keeps growing, she will continue to create a life of success, fulfillment, and happiness. A smart woman understands that confidence is not just about how she looks or what she says. It's about how she carries herself, the decisions she makes, and the way she navigates the world. Confidence is an internal strength that comes from knowing who she is, what she stands for, and refusing to settle for anything less than what she deserves. She does not seek approval from others because she validates herself. She trusts her instincts, owns her worth, and stands firm in her beliefs even when others doubt her. She knows that confidence is built through action. She does not wait to feel ready before she takes a step forward. Instead, she moves forward despite her fears, knowing that courage is what creates confidence. She speaks up when she has something valuable to say, even if her voice shakes. She walks into a room with her head held high, knowing that she belongs there. She is not afraid to ask for what she wants, whether it is a raise, respect, or a seat at the table. A smart woman does not let insecurity hold her back. She understands that self-doubt is natural, but she does not allow it to control her decisions. Instead of letting negative thoughts dictate her actions, she reminds herself of her strengths, her achievements, and the value she brings to the world. She replaces self-doubt with self-belief, knowing that every challenge she has faced has prepared her for the opportunities ahead. She also understands the importance of boundaries. Confidence is not just about how she presents herself, but also about what she tolerates. She does not allow others to walk over her, disrespect her, or take advantage of her kindness. She sets clear boundaries and enforces them without guilt. She knows that saying no to what does not serve her is just as important as saying yes to what does. One of the most powerful ways she builds confidence is by keeping promises to herself. She follows through on her commitments, whether big or small. If she sets a goal, she works towards it. If she says she will do something, she does it. This consistency builds self-trust, which is the foundation of confidence. She does not rely on external validation to feel good about herself. She creates it from within. An excellent example of this is a woman who wanted to start her own business but struggled with self-doubt. She worried about failing, about what others would think, and whether she was truly capable. But instead of letting fear hold her back, she took the first step. She educated herself, created a plan, and took action despite her uncertainty. As she saw small successes, her confidence grew. Within a year, she had built a thriving business. Not because she never had doubts, but because she refused to let them stop her. She also understands that confidence is not arrogance. A smart woman is self-assured, but she remains humble. She does not need to prove herself to anyone, and she does not put others down to feel superior. She lifts others up, knowing that true confidence comes from within, not from comparison. She takes care of herself, inside and out. She knows that feeling good physically, mentally, and emotionally contributes to her confidence. She invests in self-care, maintains a positive mindset, and surrounds herself with people who support and encourage her. Above all, she owns her story. She embraces her flaws, her past mistakes, and the lessons she has learned along the way. She does not shrink herself to fit into someone else's expectations. She stands tall in her truth, unapologetically herself, knowing that confidence is not about being perfect, it's about being real. Now let me tell you something. These rules aren't just words, they're a blueprint for a powerful, fulfilling life. A smart woman knows that success, happiness, and self-respect come from the choices she makes every single day. She doesn't wait for the world to hand her what she deserves. She goes out and claims it. So if you want to elevate your life, stop waiting, stop doubting, and start living by these rules. Because when you do, you'll see just how powerful you truly are. Now go out there and own your greatness.